I'd like now to say a little bit about the after-death states as they're postulated by Theosophy. In fact, Theosophy postulates that death is quite an exciting chain of events. You're dead. What happens now? Well, the first thing is you get a review of the life that you've lived. Now, I've always maintained that this review is the basis of past life recall. You're not actually remembering the past life, you're remembering this review of the life. But this review is very honest about the life you've lived. It's not edited in any way, and it's really from the point of view of the effect that you've had, your life has had on the world. And there's no illusions at all. You go forward with no illusions about the life that you've lived. There is also a period of unconsciousness. Now, during this, the non-physical parts of man separate from the physical body and are encased in the shell of the etheric body. That's the energy body, or the body of prana. So there you are, you've moved out, or your non-physical parts have moved out of your physical bodies. Effectively, the doctor will probably then pronounce you dead. But the non-physical parts encased in this etheric shell will remain over the physical body. So then you need to go through the death struggle. This is quite important. You need to break out the non-physical parts of man, which are effectively you. You're without the physical body, so your personality in that is now encased in this etheric shell. It needs to break out to get on its way. Now, if this doesn't happen, if you don't break out, we're into Twilight Zone stuff here. It's a sort of netherworld between life and death. You've left the physical body, and really you haven't moved on to the after-death states. You're sort of in sort of limbo. So you do need to move on. You need to break out of the etheric shell. Now, one of the problems with the etheric shell is it tries to remain close to the physical body. So do the non-physical parts of man. There's a tendency to want to remain close to the physical body, or even to try to get back in again. Now, the Hindu tradition has the answer to this in cremating the physical body at dawn, the morning after death. So there's nothing to hold on to then. The non-physical parts of man can be on their way, and the etheric shell will eventually just disintegrate. The etheric shell also is the basis of wraiths seen in churchyards. That's the etheric shell still hovering over the physical body, and this can be quite a long time after death. So, okay, you get clear of the etheric shell, and you're then in the state of Karmaloka, or the spirit realm, which is really the spirit realm of your own making, depending on the life that you've lived. Now, gradually, through Karmaloka, there's 7 levels of it, the personality will dissolve. Although it doesn't dissolve completely, there's still an essence of it after that in the state known as David Shan, right through to David Shan. But the earthly attachments and the personality dissolve away. Now, one of the things immediately after death is that if you like a drink, or you like a cigarette, you'll still want a cigarette after you're dead. But the problem is you haven't got a body to smoke the cigarette or drink the pint. In fact, you're the same person immediately after death as you were when you were alive, except you don't have a physical body. And alcoholics can have a very difficult time in Karmaloka, but gradually these things dissolve away. And you experience at the end of Karmaloka the second death, an essence of the life lived, of what you've learned, and that is retained, and you move into Devachan, which is a state of bliss in which the spiritual aspirations of the life that you've lived are realised. Now, Devachan, fantastic place to be. It's the closest thing that Theosophy has to heaven. The problem is you can't stay. It lasts for a while and it will exhaust itself, and you have to return to earthly life and into incarnation. Now, at the end of the David Charnick period, your reincarnating ego, which are your higher principles, the true self, which consist of the higher mind principle, the Buddhic principle, and the Atmic principle, because the lower mind and the desire principle have dissolved away, or the desire body has dissolved away. So you've got the reincarnating ego coming back into incarnation, and it will take the best life available for what it needs to learn, which means that whatever you have come into this incarnation with, as or with, then you actually chose it, which is something to think about. Anyway, I think that covers the death to rebirth briefly.